Mabuhay, kamusta kayo, and welcome to another video. So we got a fairly special plant to repot today. This is the only surviving cactus I rescued from my dad's collection, or at least 7 or 8 years ago now. There was one little offset on the main plant that was still alive when I found it. Probably no bigger than the smallest offset on this one. But this is special not only because it's one my dad had in his collection, but the original plant came from an elderly neighbour of ours back in the 1990s, who's no longer with us either. And she had a greenhouse with cactus in that her husband had been growing many years before that. So the original source of this plant probably dates back at least 50 or 60 years, maybe more. I remember as a kid the one she had in her greenhouse was absolutely massive, in a huge pot, and the plant had hundreds of offsets on it. I've still not been able to get an ID on this yet, but I do know it's a Lobivia / Echinopsis. This hasn't flowered for me yet, but I do have a picture from March 2003 when my dad's one was in flower. These two at the front, and the one on the right with the yellow flowers I'm 99% certain is the clump I rescued the offset from. The only thing that perplexes me a little is those longer spines his ones had. This one doesn't have those, which is a little strange, but like I said, the offset I took was definitely from one of these two pots. The closest ID I've been able to get for this is Lobivia aurea schaferi. It does look very similar to that. Another strange thing is over the past couple of years this has started to develop what looks like variegation. I have read that plants can develop variegation randomly, called chimeric variegation, although it's pretty rare and might not last on the plant and revert back to green. Either way, still pretty cool. So yeah, a couple of reasons I want to repot this. One is because it's still in a very old mix. It's probably been in this pot 3 or 4 years now. And because it's in a terracotta pot as well, which I don't use anymore. I've gone over to plastic pots for all my plants because the mix I use has caused them to dry out too quickly for my liking, and over time these pots get a bit crusty as well. And plants will actually grow slower in terracotta pots as opposed to plastic pots. I've done a couple of experiments where I've grown some seedlings in both, and the ones in the plastic pots are way bigger than the ones in the terracotta. Now I'm hoping this comes out of here fairly easily, otherwise I may need to borrow Clyde Morris's special key to get this out of here. And the special key being this hammer, named Stanley. I'm hoping I put a piece of plastic mesh over the drainage hole though, because I'm going to push the end of this paintbrush through the drainage hole. If there is mesh in there, it'll make getting the plant out a bit easier. This is another reason I don't really like terracotta pots anymore, it can make repotting plants a pain. Speaking of pain, this plant is very spiny, so I'm going to wrap it in some thick bubble wrap to protect my hand and the plant as we unpot it. Alright, fingers crossed this comes out easy. I don't think there is any mesh in here. Doesn't feel like there is anyway, and I couldn't see any when I looked underneath. I can feel the plant getting looser though. Don't think we'll need the hammer. There we go, perfect. That wasn't too bad at all. Pretty decent roots on it by the looks of it, but definitely needs some nice fresh soil. I'll clean the roots up a bit using our trusty skewer. I have propagated this plant already, just in case anything was to happen to the main plant. Don't think I'll take any offsets from it today though, I do want to keep this as a clump. But if any do come away as we're repotting, I will pot them up separately. So that's about as much as I'm going to clean the roots up. Everything was nice and dry, so most of the mix came away as it came out of the pot anyway. So as always, the new mix it's going into is 4 equal parts of John Innes No. 2 compost, pumice, lava rock and Keodama. Pot it's going into is this nice big 11cm plastic pot. And as the drainage hole's quite large, I'll put a piece of mesh in here as well to prevent all the mix falling through. Right, fill the pot. Hopefully I've made enough mix here. No big deal though, if not, I'll just mix some more up. Should be enough in there for now. I'd rather there not be quite enough to begin with, as we can always just lift the plant up a bit and add more. Looks pretty good. Probably going to make a mess, but that's fine. So yeah, I don't know if this will flower this year. There's no signs of buds on it yet. Hopefully it will next year. This one I do bring indoors to overwinter, but I might risk overwintering it in the greenhouse this time. Most Lobivia and Echinopsis can take pretty low temperatures, but I'd really like to get a positive ID on it first, just to be sure. Plant is a little low in the pot, so just going to grab it again, lift it up slightly. Add some more mix. I think I've got just enough here to do this. Tap the pot so the mix settles around the roots nicely. So it's still sitting a little low for my liking, so once again just going to lift it up slightly. And tap the sides of the pot again. Add a bit more mix. Going to top dress this with some lava rock at the end as well. This should be good in this pot for a year or two now. Quite a deep pot as well, so there's plenty of room for the roots in there. Can feel the plant firming up already as the mix settles around it. Right, final thing to do is add some top dressing, some nice lava rock for this one. And there we go, all finished. I think it looks much better in that pot, and will be much easier to repot again when the time comes. I won't water this for at least a week now, gives time for any damaged roots to heal. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little repotting video and learning a little bit of history about this cactus. If you do know the idea of this, please do let me know in the comments. It would be great to finally give this one a name. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and comment. Consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the notification bell as well so you know when I upload a new video. You'll be safe and well, and I shall see you next time. Selamat pop alam. Bye for now.